And now I am going to pick up one of the stories that I hold. The first time that I was close up and personal with riot police, I was carrying a 5-gallon plastic bucket that smelled like pickles and walking with 70 or 80 people. And the next time I met riot police, close enough that I could see their eyes follow my movements, was a couple of weeks ago in the same place. This time I had dirt on my hands and I was holding a spoon after planting mint plants and daffodil bulbs in the grass along the driveway leading up to the coal plant with 50 or 60 of my friends. I didn't get arrested this time like I did last time, but the riot gear was still there. And we were still there asking for the same thing, for not only that coal plant to close, but for a pretty profound change in energy and carbon in our world right now. But also we were there to try to begin to reimagine the land, to reclaim the land for life, for a better and more beautiful future. We joked that the mint and the goldenrod and the other native plants that we planted didn't seem that threatening. We weren't sure why we were getting such a reaction for mint. But it was pretty clear that that wasn't what they were reacting to, not the pickle buckets and not the mint plants and not the daffodils that will come up in the spring. Sneakily, which is delightful to me. But they were responding to the fact that we were there together, and not just a group of people who wandered by, but a group of people who had been thinking pretty deeply about what was the most important thing in the world and had figured out how to stay connected to each other through the inevitable conflicts that come up when you go deeply into anything. That we were together and we showed up that way. That we were deeply committed to not just the sort of broad platitudes of a better future, but very specific hard piece of that work. What Brené Brown talks about true belonging. It's not just about fitting in, it's about being yourself fully and then finding the connections to that true self. And it turns out when you show up like that in the world, with that belonging and that dedication to a vision, it's pretty powerful. And power can look threatening sometimes, especially when the way you look at the world is with the control that comes with things like the riot police. But powerful can also look hopeful and protective and enlivening and hopeful and beautiful and hopeful. Did I mention that it feels hopeful? People deeply connected, people who have seen the places where not so great, where we struggle, when we've seen that about each other, and we stay working toward a really profound vision. That has so much hope in it that it makes me cry every time it's really there. And that's what the crew of people who are reclaiming and rebuilding and retelling the history of this town in particular, and its African American residents that are in all of our history and in our present, but our society just kind of gets hazy there and doesn't see that story. So staying on it and continuing to find it and tell it is another piece of that work that's about just staying connected through all kinds of struggles. And there are many other places that I see it in our congregation, and I see it. You come to the congregation and get fed and replenished, and then go out and do that thing. The crop walkers are walking today, and that's a piece of it too, right? That feeding the world while being here in this place together. The beach cleanup is starting again. It's a busy day. The beach cleanup is starting again today after a year and a half, at least, of pause. Same thing, being right in the spot together and remembering that it's connected to this vision of a clean world, a beautiful world. Practicing being powerful, practicing being hopeful, practicing being joyful, so that that's what we carry into the future. We talk about community in this congregation, and it is good to have people who we like around us that we're connected to. But most profoundly, I think that church community is a place where we practice. It's a place where we practice how to do these things, which are very hard. And I think everybody struggles with them. We all think that it's a personal struggle, but it's really not a personal struggle, that it's hard to be connected in that Brene Brown kind of way, that really who we deeply are, and to share that in the world. And then to find those connections that let you really live the vision that you are committed to. So congregational life is a place where we practice doing those things. And in this moment in history, when everything is reshaping, I sometimes minimize it myself and say, well, it's just, it's just a little uneven. I really think everything is reshaping right now. Our sense of how labor works in the world is reshaping right now. Our understanding of racial justice and our history as a people and as a world about race is reshaping right now. Our understanding of our connection to the planet is reshaping. Everything is reshaping. So if you're, that little bit of buzz in your head, it's a lot. And this community is a place where we get to practice all of the ways that we want to be in the world, make mistakes, and know that together we're learning how to carry this forward, how to carry forward a new shape in the world, how to carry forward a really deep universalism in the world, how to have those connections and vision that are really powerful, that can be a little scary. Sometimes hang back from it because it's a little scary, but it's also beautiful and joyful and hopeful. So we're practicing shaping the new world together. And we do it in huge ways, and we do it in simple, tangible ways, like sharing our art, making cards for each other, figuring out how to show ourselves that way.